Hi guys, welcome back to LikingHiking. So today I am going to show you how I make my windshield for my cooking pot. So I have here my old cooking pot, so with this homemade windshield, which makes such a difference and saves so much fuel. So the reason I have a new pot is this one is quite big, but that's not really the main issue. It's just like a cheap one and it's gone rusty on the inside, so I didn't really want to eat rust, so I bought a new pot. So for my new pot, I have a cheap titanium pot. I don't know, it's from China, so I just bought it off Amazon. I can put the link in the description below for you if you like. But anyway, I'm going to make a new windshield for this pot, and I'll show you how I make them so you can make one but for yourself. I'm going to make a whole new one for you guys to see. So I just have a massive tinfoil tray. For this pot, I probably didn't need one quite this big, but I bought it in a pack when I made the other one. And then I've got a circle pie pan to make the circle bit that goes around the bottom of the stove. So this bit here is really important to make sure that your fuel canister doesn't overheat, because then they can explode, which I didn't actually know about when I started looking into these like DIY windshields or whatever. So now I do know, and I'm still alive. So we'll make one of those. Yeah, so I've just got a socket thing from the shed. I don't really know, it's not mine. But anything like round and like metal that will be able to squish down the metal edges will work fine. And some scissors. These are my dedicated foil chopping scissors, so I've already ruined them. And tinfoil trays. All right, let's get started. So let's make the round windshield bit first, because this is probably the easiest thing to do. So with a ruler and a texter, I'm actually going to make sure it's straight. So I'm pretty sure that is somewhat important. The inside of the pot is 10.5 centimeters, so I'm going to make it 10 centimeters because then it'll fit for sure. So I'm going to make it 11 centimeters cut out on here, because then I'm going to fold in 0.5 centimeter on each side so it doesn't have sharp edges. All right, my straight line is ruled, so now I'm just going to chop it out. Fast forward chopping montage. Alright, so I have cut out my windshield piece. Just something to be careful of is obviously the sharp edges. And sometimes you like have these little slithers. So just chop any of them off, because obviously you don't want them stabbing you when we're finished. Alright, so yeah, once we chop off 1 centimeter off that, that's going to fit perfectly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to roll this out flat, and I am going to do the top and bottom edge, and then depending on the size we want it, we'll finish off with that last, trimming and doing the 2 side edges, and also making these little cuts in here. So all that does is they press in and out. I've had this pot for over a year. And I've never had them like break or anything like that. So I just keep those so they sit on top of the other piece. So we'll do the top and the bottom. So I'm just going to roll this out using this socket. All right. So that's all nice and flat now. So I'm going to, whoops, I'm rolling away. I'm going to use the ruler to measure out where we want to mark it to, and then also bend the foil in. Okay, so we want 0.5 centimeter on the top and 0.5 centimeter on the bottom. So yeah, I don't know, like I've never seen anything this light for a windshield made, like where you can buy it for a hiking stove, which is, I don't know, There's like all sorts of like material ones. There's those really thick ones that just like stand up around the pot. But they're like super expensive, and also like you're probably going to regret carrying something that heavy. So I'm just got the ruler flat here. I'm just bending up the corners now. Let's move that along a bit. So just using the sharp edge. So I've got a metal ruler here, which is, I probably should have mentioned, is much preferable to a plastic one. Just bending up like this. So straight edges are really easy because you just bend it all over and then you just flatten it down. So like that. And then all you do once it's sort of mostly bent is use this heavy socket here, which hopefully you can see, sorry guys. Use the heavy socket to just roll it out and really squish it down. There we go. So that's not going to come up. Oops. It's not going to come up and it's not going to cut anyone. So you can see there, that's just really reinforced. So we'll do the same on this side. All right, so, and side number 2. So hopefully this will fit in my pot. I might just, this is how you make it round. So use the edge of the table and just like that. Oh, and before you yell at me, this table has like a cover on it so that I'm not actually damaging the table. And let's see. Perfect. So I can already see from this, from the amount of overlap, that it's going to be too big. But it fits inside, and I think the lid will still fit on. Yep, which is great. All right, so that's pretty much that bit done for now until we make the base like this one. So I'm going to use this one as a bit of a template because it does already have the markings in it for the stove protector bit here, which I guess like technically I don't need because I can put it above, but this obviously makes it a lot less stable. So by having the 2 cuts in there, it just makes it a lot more stable, less likely to blow around because obviously you are using it in windy conditions. So I'm just going to cut out the bottom of this pan first. I'm not going to measure because I'm just going to cut out where the pan is already. And I'm hoping I'll be able to use this circle to cut out for the stove bit, but we'll see. So I have my circle. It doesn't have to be like a perfect cutout circle because again we're going to fold the edges in. Now cutting into the middle bit is always a bit of an adventure, but we'll give it a go. All right, so I've cut out a middle bit and you can see it's not quite to the edge of the circle because I'm going to fold this bit down. Fold out on the round ones. All I'm going to do is do lots of little cuts into the line where I want it to fold, which is why I'm keeping all the lines on this one to use as guides. So the more cuts as well you do, the more round your center line will look, because obviously they only fold straight. So I'm not too fussed about mine because I'm pretty sure this hole will be a lot bigger than it needs to be. It's going to be a lot bigger than this one, which fits fine. So I'm just going to do what I did with the pan, the other one, just fold them all in, and then I'm going to go around with the socket and smooth it all down so there's no sharp edges. Okay, that's all done, that's all smoothed down. I think they are a bit loose. I think it would have been better off cutting a bigger hole in the center to begin with, rather than having the larger flaps here because they can kind of get your finger caught under them, but it will be fine. So I'm just going to check that it fits. Ta-da! Perfect. So now I just have to put the holes in this one to hold it upright. So to make the join, what we're going to do is just pretty much do, oh hang on, is this going to be the right, oh it doesn't really matter, what we've done before, and smooth it over. And on this side, it's the smallest amount possible. So the smaller it is, the less it's going to make a cone, which we don't want one that's too crazy. All right, so we want it to bend in from this corner. Don't want it too crazy, too probably where it was before. I'm just going to bend it around the ruler because that should give us enough space to slot in the other one. Now I'm going to do the same on this side, so where it was to the corner. Bend it. Whoops, don't forget to turn it over. Corner to where it was before. Make it the width of the ruler. All right, just show you here. That just hooks under like that. All right, so we want it to come into probably this line here. So we'll sit on top like that. And then when it's in that cone shape, it'll be a lot smaller. So I'm gonna trim this up a little bit because as before, like I don't want the massive flaps on it like this because it's not gonna be super practical. So, just trying to work out how to do this hooked bit. It's going to do the little flat bits where they join together, so that's all nice and strong. And then I'm just going to fold the edges in like that. Though to be honest, that one might be better on the inside. Oh well. Okay. Awesome. So, just going to go around. It's already got a bit of a fold in there from the sheet. So I'm just going to fold everything into there. Now, did I do it in sections? Maybe I did. So this is all, this last little bit just needs to go in a bit further, folded down mostly. So I'm just going to kind of squish it a little bit to get that round edge. And then I'm just going to use this socket here to roll all flat. Okay, ta-da! We're done. This is it. Pretty much, we've done the whole thing. I'm going to put the 2 slits in there. It's going to make it sit so much better. All right, I was going to cut out the little slits. Yay! It works. Success. All right, I'm just going to make these a little bit thicker. Okay, so it's like literally the width of a permanent textile line. All right, the final fitting. Oops, I squished it too much with the roller. Okay, there we go. Success at last. All right. It's looking good, guys. We're almost done. So all I got to do now is cut the little slits in. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 along here for this, and make sure it goes to the right length. So obviously you want all the access to be in here where the handles are and where the knob is for the stove, because you need to be able to access that. So this will sit on there. So it's only a little bit too big, so I might take a couple of centimeters off each side. So I'm going to cut and center in a half off and then fold in half a centimeter. So I've just put some dots where I'm going to cut the flaps, so I'm going to cut them to be smaller. Obviously I've just done the width of the ruler, 1.5 centimeters in. And I'm just going to chop up to there and fold. Alright, so these just fold in to become the little feet. I'm not pressing these down or anything because obviously I'm going to be folding them back and forth often, so I don't want it to wreck the foil. Place it on. Perfect. I don't know what's going on here. Ta-da! One windshield. And then to pack up, just straighten this out. Straighten, fold, unclip this. I'll show you how to do that one in a minute. This just fits inside the pot like that. And then, of course, it will still fit the canister in around it. Just perfect, fits like a glove. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. This is going to be so good. And then this one here, all I do for this is I just fold it into quarters. So I'll fold along these two lines like this way. Not super folded because again, you know, we're going to be unfolding it often. Fold that one that way so it just fits in like so. So I'll pop that in, put on the lid, and I am ready to go. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to make a windshield for a hiking stove or pot. So if you try it out, let me know how it went in the comments down below, or if you have your own designs for a hiking windshield, also let me know in the comments down below. Anyway guys, keep on liking hiking.